This program is recorded and presented by Chippewa Valley Community Television. This is a rebroadcast of the Eau Claire School Board meeting. The audio for this program can be heard on WRFP LP 101.9 FM.
Call to order tonight's special meeting on the budget hearing. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Secretary Iverson, have we complied with the open meetings law notification this evening?
Yes, we have.
Thank you. Please do a roll call.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Luganbill?
Here.
Commissioner Spindler?
Here.
Commissioner Boo?
Here.
Commissioner Jean?
Here.
Commissioner Duex is absent.
All right, great, thank you. So tonight we're just here to, we're here for the budget hearing and resolution on adoption of the budget. Dan, I guess you have a short presentation about the final budget here. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, at your seats tonight, you have a complete copy of the revised budget. We thought it would be easier just to give you a complete document than to give you pages to insert into the old document. So the old document, if you want to keep that binder and just replace the pages with what you have in the blue, feel free to do that. If you want to just keep the blue and give us back the 3-ring, we'll fill it up again next year with a different budget. Also, you have the supplemental materials that were provided with your recommended budget a month ago, and a copy of the slides for tonight. As expected, the final changes weren't what I would consider great, but they are on the revenue side. The expenditure side of the budget has not changed since you saw it last and acted on it in early October. The changes start out with the revenue limit. The final dollar increase in the revenue limit from last year's approved budget, $725,749, is a 0.7% increase. So going back to the pie analogy, the size of the pie plate increased probably from a 9-inch to an 11-inch pie. That's good news. The more revenue you have, the less of a problem you have with the incursion into working capital to balance the budget. But all in all, a 0.7% increase in the revenue limit compared to previous year's increases, especially back in those years where the revenue limit increased by the CPI, is not much of an increase. The final general aid number is now known. We were not projecting much of a change, and general aid will now be decreasing by a little under $210,000, or 0.4%. Again, in the total scheme of things, with over $56 million in general aid, a $200,000 change is not that dramatic. And it's not really that much of a surprise. State computer aid, the other small component of the revenue limit, is now known, and that will drop to $45,000, or by $45,000. Per pupil categorical aid, that's that aid that is outside of the revenue limit. That is our 3-year average of student enrollment in the revenue limit formula times $150 per student. That's increasing slightly by about $3,700 compared to our original estimate back in early October. Well, if the pie increases and the amount of state aid filling goes down, you know what happens with the property tax filling, it goes up. And so that the above numbers all combine, with the exception of that per pupil aid, all combine into the final levy. And as it stands right now, the final levy that will be certified this week to the municipalities based on your action tonight will decrease a little over $550,000 or 1%. So hopefully that will be received as good news by the taxpayers in the community. We were projecting a little higher decrease in the budget that you approved, but because of the increase in revenue limit and decrease in state aid, the levy takes up the difference. Equalized property value, we now know what that is, and that's up 3.9%, a little over $230 million, which is a good sign. Property value tends to mirror economic activity and strengthen the economy. And we certainly know we have been, since 2008, through some years of very flat to, in some cases actually, I believe, declining property value, the fair market value of the property in the district. So to see a 3.9% increase, if you go back and look at it, it's coming around. And it would be nice to see that kind of increase now on a continuous basis. So at the end of the day, if you take your levy, which is going down, and you divide it by your equalized property value, which is going up, you see a tax rate that goes down. It's just simple math. And the tax rate right now that will be certified for this coming year will be $9.40 per $1,000 of equalized property value. That's down 46 cents from last year's rate, or a 4.7% decrease. On average, and I need to stress on average, district-wide, on a $100,000 piece of property, you can expect to see about a $46 decrease in your property taxes for school purposes. So those are the changes. If you grant approval of the budget, we will certify all of this stuff.
Do we have any questions for Dan first? Anything? Okay, all right. So next is a public hearing. I don't see anyone from the public unless Abby, you were planning on speaking tonight. Okay, and so assuming there's no one from the public hearing, we will adjourn to our special meeting. And so we'll have we have the individual considered resolution of adopting the 2015-16 ECASD budget. So ECASD budget. So if I could have a motion to adopt the budget.
So moved.
Do we have a motion to adopt? Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second to adopt. Any discussion or questions or comments on the budget? Okay, if we could do a roll call vote on that, please.
Commissioner Humbach-Boyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Luganbill,
Yes.
Commissioner Spindler,
Yes?
Commissioner Vu,
Yes.
Commissioner Jean.
Yes.
Motion passes. Budget is adopted. So now we can go ahead and certify.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for all the work on it. Okay. So I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Zong. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? Motion, we are adjourned tonight.
This program is recorded and presented by Chippewa Valley Community Television. Chippewa Valley Community Television is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, you can contact us by calling 715-839-5067 or on the web at www.cbctv.org.